Gunner Podcast. Get up, it's the Steve Gunner Podcast.
Okay, everyone, welcome to another episode of the Steve Gunter Podcast, where we discuss the steps, the strategies, and the mindset of real estate investing tailor-made for the pro athlete. I'm your host, Steve Gunter, and it's an honor and privilege to be with you today. Well, folks, listen, I have a very special guest on with us today, Lindsey Jacobs. She entered the real estate business at the age of 16, assisting her mother, Susie Johnson, with marketing and advertising. In 2006, Lindsey took the leap and entered the business full time as an agent. And today she leads the show and sells St. Louis Realty Group, one of the top real estate teams in the state of Missouri. She's a member of the Compass Sports and Entertainment Division. She's lethal on a golf course, I must say. And she's one of the most genuine people you can ever meet. Lindsey, it's an honor to have you on the podcast today, my friend.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Look, Lindsey, I want to start off with sharing something really funny with you that you might appreciate. I went out and bought me some more Peter Miller gear.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That was so great.
Oh gosh.
You nailed it on the golf course. Talk about not playing and then all of a sudden coming out and just lights out. That was awesome.
Listen, it was just so funny. So for the audience, we're in Naples, Florida, our Compass Sports and Entertainment Division, and we have this huge charity event, this golf charity event, amongst other things. And the short of it is that I'm telling everybody that, I've never played golf before, but, I'm going to look like the best golfer out there. And I got Peter Miller gear. And I'm telling everybody, I got me some Peter Miller gear. And finally, someone corrected me and they said, Steve, it's not Peter Miller, bro. Although I love the way that you're pronouncing it. It's Peter Millar. And I said, I just thought that was so funny. I mean, and then I talked to you, Lindsey, and I'm like, yeah, someone finally corrected me. And you like, oh yeah, I wasn't going to say anything, but
I was like, I don't know if he doesn't know or if he that's the way they say it in Raleigh. I don't know.
Right. Exactly. But really fun stuff, man. We had such a good time. It was also such a pleasure to get to know you as well. And it was just good. It was a great event. Let's start with this. Take me back to when you were 16 years old. You're a sophomore in high school at this time, and somehow you catch the bug to get into real estate. How did that come about?
But my mom, so she started in 97 and I was a sophomore. So that was my summer job of just like doing the marketing, running the signs, kind of all the grunt work that she didn't want to do. She would pay me hourly and I liked it. It was just something fun to do. And then when I went to college, I went to KU. So my junior year, my mom called me like 8 a.m. on a Saturday. And she's like, do you want to do this full time? Because I'm going to get a billboard and a moving truck. And I want to put your picture and my picture all over it. So when you graduate, people will recognize you and you'll have you're young. So that way you'll have your face out there for when you are full time. So I was like, Mom, I don't know. I'm like hungover in my dorm room. I'm going to think about it and figure out if this is really what I want to do. But I decided that it was. So I got my degree in advertising and marketing at KU. So that really helped kind of set the stage for what I was going to be doing. So when I became full-time, that's when I was doing a lot of the marketing and advertising for the team. So it definitely helped. I kind of saw all sides of it from the beginning, just doing the behind the scenes work, the paperwork, all the office admin, and then kind of moving up into advertising, marketing, and selling from there.
So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that you, like, right out of the gate, mom was like, "Hey, we're gonna put you on the billboards. We're
We're
gonna
going,
put your
we're
face
going
on the
big.
marketing."
Yeah.
Like, and you're not even really in the business yet, but you're getting that name and face recognition.
Yes, which definitely helped. So I mean, I would sell houses over the summers when I would come home, and just have that money to live off of for the rest of the year at college. My friends are like, I mean, I did bartend just for fun too, a couple nights a week, but the majority of what I did was over the summers and then Christmas break. Just kind of like dove in head first, right from a child. Basically, I
Yep.
was so young,
Yep.
but it worked out well.
But that's awesome because getting started young, and it's and I just think, I mean, there has to be certain advantages to that. you
Yes.
know and I would probably say there are a few disadvantages too, perhaps, being so young and helping people to buy and sell real estate. Like, you don't have any life experiences
Yeah.
at this particular point.
Hmm.
But at the same point in time, you're learning, you're
Hmm.
being immersed into the business, and you're getting some details figured out early enough so that
Hmm.
later on in your career, you're running like you are today. Is that what you is,
Definitely. And just getting the experience of listening to my mom constantly, hearing her conversations, how she talked to people really helped me a lot. And it's kind of one of those like fake it till you make it. And I
mm-hmm,
mean, I would have her luckily to fall back on to say, like, this is happening. What do we need to do in this situation? But and we had a team at the time too, so we had a lot of other agents that we could kind of like fall together and kind of figure everything out as we were going. But yeah, I was so young. I mean, I would show a house, and I remember one guy said to me, "Are you even 12 years old? Are you old enough to be showing me this house?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm 19."
yeah, yeah, yeah,
barely,
yeah.
barely old enough.
That's right. That's right. I got it covered, guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So
But
what were
I feel like once you know what you're talking about, then the trust comes, because I did know what I was talking about just because I
Mhm.
had the years behind me of even when I was 19, I had 3 years of just listening to those conversations and negotiating inspections and learning how to handle things from early on, which was good.
Was there something that excited you most about being an agent when you first got started?
I am not the kind of person that can like sit still all day long. So I think just having every day was different and getting to meet
Mhm.
so many different people, I think that was kind of what drew me into it, because I didn't see myself as like more of the 9 to 5, in every day, out every day. I need to be meeting new people, going different places. And I loved that aspect of it, I think.
Mhm. So you've always been a connector,
Yes.
a relationship driven kind of person. Is
Yes.
that the way that you
100%.
started to build your business?
Yes, and networking, I feel like was a huge part of it. And it's funny you say
Mm.
connector, because I do kind of think of myself as that. So for clients, friends, they call me constantly and they're like, I need a fence company, I need a carpet cleaner, I need a whatever it is. I feel like they look at me as that resource because I have been over the years. And I think that reminds people to call me and keep calling me. So we get a lot of referrals, which I think like 95% of our business is referrals from past clients,
Wow.
is significant.
Let's rewind.
Yeah.
95%,
Hmm.
Lindsay? That's
Yeah,
awesome. That's
it is.
outstanding.
And we
Gosh.
used to do so much advertising and marketing, and we
Mm-hmm.
still do. But when you sit down and look at the numbers, and it's like so much is coming from past clients and friends and people who already know us, like us, and trust us.
Yep.
That's kind of where we want to grow our business from, is those people.
You know, as I talk to the agents around the country,
Hmm.
everyone continues to highlight that particular form of business. It is
Hmm.
leaning into our past customers, leaning into the people that we already know,
Hmm.
those relationships, because for for some reason there's exponential growth there, uh, from a business standpoint, but it's also it's funner business. You know
It
what I
is.
mean? It's like, it's less tense. It just works. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
there's a
saying?
level of trust there. I think, we work with the internet leads and the random buyers that have never met us before,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like there's just not the same level of trust as there is when someone has a recommendation or their family member has used us before.
Yep.
And those people are just a little bit more fun to work with because they have that level of trust.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you this. So, one of the challenges to being a real estate agent, though, is that you don't have a set schedule.
True.
There's no one telling you to do X, Y, Z. You
Yes.
have to do it.
Hmm.
Um, Earlier on in your career, did you find yourself scattered brain, so to speak, kind of all over the place? Or did you already have a focus? Did you already know what the essential things were that you needed to get done?
It's a good question. I feel like starting with more of the administrative office work kind of kept me more structured because I
Mm,
did come in 9 to 5 and I was at the office and I would fill in with our administrative assistants what they needed. I would jump in and help and then I'd go show houses and come back. So I think I kind of had that structure
yeah.
more early on than I do
Yeah.
now. I could use probably a little bit more structure, but I feel like I'm being pulled in 1,000 different places every day.
But
So
you're a mother and a wife as well, and you have other
yes,
obligations.
a
Yeah.
lot of things happening, and
Mm,
I used to have a problem saying no, which can be good and bad because I would do all the things like the charity. I started a young professionals group for one of the
mm,
charities that we were involved with, and doing the Chamber of Commerce. My husband and I started a networking group. So I feel like I was constantly saying yes to everything and everyone. And then
yeah.
it kind of hit me after my third kid. And I was like, I don't have the time. Like, I literally just don't have the time to keep doing all of these things. So then I had to step away from the board, the charity that I was on. I was actually two of them. I mentored young kids in the city once a week, and it just got to the point where I needed to be there for my own family. But hopefully,
Hmm.
I can take up more of that and take on a little bit more as my kids get older. But in that time frame, you know how it is when your kids are little. You're in the thick of it, and you have to be there for them first. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Yep. You're an athlete, Lindsay, and talk to me a little bit about what your involvement in sport was like growing up.
Yes. Well, my parents are both very athletic. My mom was a tennis pro when she came to St. Louis.
Hmm.
So they just started us from a young age of every sport. It was not like we did one. I feel like a lot of kids now, it's like you get immersed
How
in
many
one
brothers and sisters
sport.
do you have?
I have one older sister. She's 2 years.
Okay.
So we both did golf, tennis, swim team. I played baseball or softball, basketball, volleyball, lacrosse, pretty much every sport except for soccer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my parents thought it was boring to watch, so they never put us in soccer.
Did you play at Kansas as well?
I played lacrosse at
Okay.
mhm. For I actually started my science teacher sophomore year of high school started a lacrosse team, and she was like she knew kind of who the athletes were, so she gathered us all together
Hmm.
and she was like, I'm starting a team. I'm like, what's lacrosse?
Hmm.
But we loved it because it was kind of like newer to the Midwest then, and yeah, we all of my friends played on the team, and it was so much fun that I went on and played at KU. But
Lindsay, that's a sport right there, lacrosse, man.
it
It's
is,
a physical sport
it
too.
is,
Like it gets rough.
it does. I had a root canal. I had some scars
Yeah.
during one
Yeah.
game.
Wait a minute. Did you keep playing when it happened?
Oh yeah.
Oh, look. Oh, that's
I came
awesome.
out for a minute and then went back in. I'm like, I'm fine.
Like nothing's stopping me. Let's
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
you know, um, Kansas has always been known for its men's basketball team
Yes.
too.
Oh my gosh. We have
Did you ever go to any games?
Yes, and we actually, my husband and I are big fans. So we
Yeah.
went the last two times they were in the national championship. We went. They won a couple years ago, and we got to be there for that game in New Orleans, which was so much.
Nice.
Yeah, that was great. We had a lot of fun. I
Yeah,
went the year before that when I was pregnant, so it wasn't as fun to be in New Orleans when I was pregnant, but
yep. Yep. I get it. I get it. So let's go back to your athletic experience some. What parallels can you draw between the lessons that you've learned in sport um, and how those lessons have applied in business?
yeah, that's a great thought. I feel like just having the discipline with practices and hard work, because obviously you're not going to be good at sports if you don't put in the time and the effort.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the same thing goes for real estate, just putting in the time. A lot of agents just like to, show up to the office and think that the business is going to come to them, but that's to me that's not putting in the time. The time is making the phone calls, doing either whether it's open houses or just networking, things that you're kind of like putting yourself in a tough situation, going through the work of having to actually like put yourself out there. And in sports, you may not want to go to practice that day, but you show up
Mm-hmm.
and you work hard, and success comes with that. And I think the
Mm-hmm.
same thing goes with real estate as well. You have to put
Absolutely.
the time and the effort
Absolutely.
for sure.
Such great points that you've made there. And one of the things that I really have appreciated personally in my sport experience has been the concept of that all things aren't created equally in terms of the activities that we do. Um, I'll give you an example. I remember when I was running track, and track and field is one of those sports that either you love it or you hate it.
Yeah,
There is no in between. You know what
that's
I'm
right.
saying? And I was a 400-meter runner,
Okay.
and so that particular race, my gosh, it hurts. Everything about it hurts. Like the first 200 meters, you're good,
Yeah. Yes.
and then you start to lose oxygen in your body,
Wow.
and you go around that next curve, and then you're starting to feel it, and then that last straightaway, your ass, Lindsay, begins to tighten up, and it's like this hurts, man,
Sure,
and
but
it sucks, you know what I'm
wow.
saying?
Yeah.
But what I learned in that sport in particular was, you know, there is a way to run.
Mm-hmm.
There is a way to run where you can get the maximum amount of effort from one movement,
Mm-hmm.
just one movement, but you can't do every movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could you run like this? Sure, I can run like this. Can I run like this? I can run like this. But you have to have a certain movement, and so all of those movements aren't created equal. It's the right movement. And what I gather from that was it's the exact same thing in business.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not everything is created equally. There are only a few things that really get you the exponential results that you seek. And I think in some respect, it kind of goes back to what you talked about earlier with your relationships with your customers,
Mm-hmm.
how you guys have cultivated those relationships, how you guys lean into that.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys doing to, if you don't mind just sharing just a few things, perhaps, what are you guys doing to cultivate those relationships with your customers?
So we have a lot of client events throughout the year, and I
Mm,
just love to spoil our people.
yep.
So we're having one actually next week. We're doing this one at our office. So we're having just like a happy hour from 5 to 8. And we moved into a new office at Compass, and it's spectacular. So it's in a really nice area of town. So we like to show it off. We have a
Hmm.
big open space. So we have tequila tasting, bourbon tasting.
Yep.
We're bringing in sushi from a restaurant that closed in town, but it was the best sushi in town. So the head chef will cater. So just
Nice.
kind of like a fun, different different things that we try to do to kind of spice it up. We're doing a permanent jewelry station where the ladies can get like a permanent bracelet. So just kind of like try to have fun things at our parties. We do, sorry, my computer's.
Sure. Take your time.
Um, and then we deliver flowers to our clients in the fall. So we have moms that will take and deliver to our clients' houses. We do an event for the kids, so we'll do photos with Santa. So we have a Santa Claus come in and Mrs. Claus and do professional photography for families. What else? We've done parties at our, like my mom's house. She had like a big backyard party that we did a lot of years in a row, and people, it's surprising, but people do love to come to them. I feel like they kind of get to know their good connections again, networking and meeting other people, especially if they're not from St. Louis or they're new into town. It's just a good way to meet other people. And I feel like St. Louis is a very small, big city. So there's always people who somehow know each other from work or school or just lots of connections being made, I feel like, from that.
Absolutely. Because you're not just a real estate agent. You're also, I mean, going back to that word connector, I mean, you're connecting. Yeah, you're connecting with people, but you're also connecting others to one another. Yeah. And your sphere of influence is so, it's so powerful that, this person, you may know someone who could help this person out with whatever sort of
like
issues they have.
It just kind of continues to grow.
That's right.
I'm from St. Louis. My family is from St. Louis. My dad grew up here too. So just the amount of connections that we have and the people that we know, it's just a great city. And I feel like it's great getting to know more people every day. I love it. Yeah,
absolutely.
About this job.
You got into the real estate business full time at a very interesting time period, though, too. It was 2006, I believe, which was right before the market crashed. Tell me a little bit about what that was like.
It was, I mean, very interesting. The market, I have seen a lot of shifts up and down over the years. So it was a great market in 2006. And then when the market crashed, it was interesting because a lot of agents who didn't sell very much got out of the market. So we actually had our best year ever in 2009, which is kind of unheard of. A lot of agents, I think, were struggling at that time. But I feel like people weren't wanting to test drive an agent who was newer in the market in that time frame. So I think that really kind of catapulted our business because people were coming to us when they weren't sure what was happening with the market, where they were getting foreclosed on their house or having short sales. We had to figure out and navigate all of that for clients. And then after that, it just kind of continued to go up from there. So we have kind of seen like a little bit of a roller coaster. And then COVID years, that was nuts too. But I feel like we have a little bit more of an advantage of the agents who started over the last 5 years when the market was great, never had to negotiate a building inspection. Everything was as is, no appraisal writers. Things were a lot easier the last couple of years. And we're starting to see those things kind of come back into the market where we're not having, some houses are still selling multiple offers over asking price, but then some that aren't. And then we have to negotiate inspections and deal with replacing roofs and all those things that we had to do years ago.
Yeah. You bring up COVID. Those were some that was an interesting time period, all around in our country. Lord knows, I hope we never have to relive something like that. But in the real estate market in particular, we thought, I can remember, we were preparing ourselves for not, perhaps not selling another property for like the rest of the year. You know what I'm saying? And
very time not knowing what was going to happen.
Yeah. And then the opposite happened. It was like everyone was looking to buy. It was crazy. And it wasn't just here in North Carolina. It was in Missouri. It was in Florida. It was in, you name it, it was happening.
Yeah.
What What did you guys experience during that time?
So I feel like kind of that 2 week window of what is going to happen, where is this market going to go, and then all of a sudden it was like we want a pool. Everybody in St. Louis, because it was kind of like moving into the summer, and I think everybody was just so stir crazy with their kids home.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was shut down, so they were realizing we need more space. We want a pool. We need to finish our basement or move. And I don't know. I don't know what it was, but I was just shocked, like you said, how many
Mm-hmm.
people were wanting to move in that time frame. And I feel like we were kind of lucky because a lot of our clients were more stable with their jobs and weren't necessarily, worried about if they were going to lose their job or not. So I think those people were totally fine and set and
Mm-hmm.
prepared to make a move.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. A lot of uneasiness, not knowing what was going to happen. But yeah, luckily the market did kind of go crazy.
Yeah, it did go crazy. It was, which is an understatement, by the way. But
Are you
and
still seeing low inventory where you are in Raleigh?
we still have low inventory. Now it's creeped up some. We finally, I think, just hit about 2 months worth of inventory.
Okay.
It's we haven't seen that in forever,
Yeah.
but yeah, we still need inventory. Yeah,
Same here. Yeah. And
yeah.
what's your average sale price there?
Our average sale price right now is about 500.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're always one of the most affordable markets in the country, which I
Mm.
think helps us too.
Yep.
Uh, our average sale price is right around like 300, 350.
Yeah.
And our luxury market is kind of more that 750,000 and up. So compared to some of these other, markets I hear across the country,
Sure.
we're definitely more affordable, which is nice. I mean, we have people that moved to St. Louis who are working remote now because of COVID that can buy a pretty good size house here for a really reasonable price, which is
Yeah.
nice. So that kind of keeps our market moving pretty steady.
Well, they can do that right now until everybody watches this interview, and then everybody's going to move to St. Louis. That's right. That is right. Look, your team is selling a lot of houses, man. I mean, on average, one every 3 days. By the way, folks, that is just freaking outstanding. I don't think you guys realize that. Are you guys mainly doing general brokerage, or are you also working with builders? What's your makeup?
Don't really. We used to represent a couple builders
Mm-hmm.
back like in '06, kind of before the market crashed. So we have that experience, but it's been a while. We'll represent like a custom build, but not so much like big developments. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we are, since our average sale price is so much lower, we do a lot of volume too. So
Yep.
um, I think our average is around 100 houses a year, but we've sold as many as like 150 houses in a year before, which it gets a little crazy,
Yeah.
but it's good. We have a big team that helps with everything. We have two full-time office staff that are also licensed. So everyone on our team is licensed and can sell. But
Yeah.
my mom, Susie, and she's still selling as well. So uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's fun. We
That's
stay busy.
good. That's good. Is your husband in the business in any way?
No, he's not. He never was. He's a financial advisor. He works
Okay.
for Benjamin F. Edwards. So yeah, but he is actually a good referral source for me because he has
Mm.
clients that he's able to refer to me. So it's kind
Yep.
of a good connection there too.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what neighborhoods are trending upward right now in St. Louis.
So I would say west of St. Louis, like downtown, is always kind of um, popular. So the school districts are very strong. Our city market, I would say, kind of like ebbs and flows. It is
Mm.
kind of making a comeback, like certain pockets. I would say with younger generations like to be in the city because before they have kids, they don't have to worry about like commuting and getting them to schools because our city schools aren't rated quite as high as some of the ones further out west. So
Hmm.
that's kind of why a lot of people, once they start having kids and they're getting to that kindergarten age, they do tend to move out west. We do have a large population of private schools in St. Louis, which some people find interesting from other markets that don't have that, because we do have good public schools, but a lot of people do send their kids to private schools as well. So we tend to find that those markets that are surrounding those schools have higher popularity.
Yeah, yeah. Got it, got it. And in terms of, young professionals, where are they moving to?
We have a lot of actually corporations that move their headquarters to St. Louis. I think part of it is because the commercial space is really affordable. Plus, it's really affordable to bring in their executives and their staff to our city. So, like MasterCard, Enterprise, State Farm, we have a ton of world headquarters located here in St. Louis. So I would say a lot of people kind of live in the central corridor. Some live in the city, but then also like some, I would say within St. Louis, it's like a 30-minute drive anywhere you go. So it's really not bad. We don't have bad traffic. My husband, he's from Chicago, and he always like would make fun of me when I come here. I'm like, traffic was so bad today, and like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So it's not compared to some of these bigger cities where you have like a 2-hour commute.
Oh gosh, heck yeah. I can only imagine being in Chicago. I mean, that's real
Oh
traffic.
my gosh, that's real traffic. In LA, I hear some of these other agents talking about how they're driving from one end of the city to the other, how long it
Yep.
takes them. Like we're
Yep.
looking at 20, 30 minutes tops.
Yeah, which is really nice. So,
Yeah,
are you guys currently in a buyer's market, seller's market? Are you more balanced? Where are you guys?
we're still, I would say, in a seller's market. When a
Hmm.
house there is priced right for the condition that it's in, we're selling multiple offers, still over asking in some cases too. But if a house has something let off about it, or maybe the neighborhood is, maybe not as up and coming or something, then it may not sell the first weekend on the market. But I would say it's a little bit more balanced as we were the COVID years. Those years, it was like, doesn't matter where the house
Yep.
is or what it is, it's going to sell.
Yep.
And so I feel like maybe we're starting to balance out just a little bit in certain pockets, but then we still have the crazy pockets where it's wild.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. It's always, you always have those locations,
Yes,
where the demand is always high,
going to be high.
and it does not matter. I mean, we get some customers who say, "Hey, what about, inside the Beltline? Inside the Beltline here in Raleigh is a very high demand market.
Okay.
Cary, which is a suburb of Raleigh, is a
Okay.
very high demand market." And I said, look, you throw a rock anywhere, and if you want to live there in those areas, you'll be fine. Trust
Yeah.
me, you
Yeah.
will be fine. So let's talk about St. Louis as a whole. It's known for its music scene, its barbecue,
Yeah.
the Gateway Arch. What are people, or why are people attracted so much to the Show Me State in St. Louis in particular?
Yeah. I think St. Louis, it's a very Midwest feel. So
Hmm.
people kind of family friendly. There's so much for kids to do, and there's a lot of free activities too. So our zoo actually, I think it's the second best in the country, they say, compared to, I think it's San Diego's number one. We
Yep.
have a massive zoo, and it's free. So just a lot of like great activities for people to do.
Hmm.
Our food scene is really working its way up too. So we have a lot of great restaurants. We have an area called the Hill that is like all Italian. We have our nightlife. I feel like could use a little bit of work, but
Hmm.
uh, but no, St. Louis. I think there's a lot to offer for really any demographic, generation, age group of people. But just being from here, I love it. So
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah.
I remember, what year was that? Shoot, I'm about to tell my age, I guess. When Nelly came out, you remember
Yes.
Nelly? And it's
Yeah, she loves
getting hot in her. Man, that was my look,
yeah,
man. And the Air Force One's song,
love
like in my Air Force. I mean, look, we used to go crazy. I'm from
no,
Cleveland, Ohio, originally,
yeah,
but I don't care where you live. I think that time period, St. Louis was on the map,
Yeah,
man.
that's what I was saying. Nelly put us on the map.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just goes to show how artistry can do that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
it,
music has that ability to just kind of cross all lines and just, you know, bring everybody together, which is always cool.
yes, I'm from the blue
Yes,
crowd.
that's right. That's right. That's right. So, Lindsey, one of my last questions. One of the biggest conversations that I'm currently having with our customers, uh, whether they're pro athletes or otherwise, is the importance of investing in real estate. Um, are you beginning to find that more of your customers are beginning to ask questions about that
Yes, I
and
am.
seek guidance?
Yes, and I feel like when interest rates were low, it was even a bigger conversation that they were having. And I think it's still important to have those conversations with them now too, so that they realize you can still get in and invest if you can get a good deal on something and you
Hmm.
can refinance later. I think a lot of people get scared because interest rates have gone up just a little bit over the last year or so. But as you know, real estate is going to continue to appreciate. So if
Hmm.
you can invest in something and you're getting a tenant in there and they're paying your mortgage, you're going to be better off in the long run by owning real estate. So, diversifying obviously your portfolio, and real estate is one of those that I definitely try to just reiterate to my clients. My husband and I own a couple investment properties in the suburbs of St. Louis. We've had them for a couple years. And it's not just making money, that monthly income is great, but then the appreciation over time, that's a great investment and asset to have in your portfolio. One
Absolutely.
thing that we always talk about doing is potentially taking those investments or keeping them, but then also when our kids go to college, purchasing a home for them when they
Hmm.
are at school. My aunt did this for her son. He played baseball at KU, and she bought the house. He was kind of like the landlord in charge. He had to collect the rent. He had to make sure that his roommates and teammates didn't trash it, because when those 4 years were up, he took that money and was able to use whatever profit was made on the house to buy
Hmm.
his first home. So that's kind of like the game
Genius.
plan, and the idea for us when our kids are at school is to, buy the home, have them be invested in it so that they are, have a little skin in the game, because
Yeah,
if they trash it, they're not going to get a good return on that investment. So
that's right.
yeah,
That's right. And it makes them uh look after it as
yeah,
well. They definitely are going to care a lot more
yes.
about, who's coming over.
What
And
parties they're going to have. Yes.
exactly. But it's such a huge wealth accelerator. And I'm finding myself having those conversations a lot
Hmm.
now. And that's good. I'm so happy to see that more people are seeing real estate as that investment. That, I mean, it's look, the nice thing about real estate is that the vast majority of us understand it. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, you go to invest in a stock, you, for the most part, I think most Americans don't understand what they're
Yes,
investing
that's
in when they're
true.
buying a stock.
Hmm.
Um, or some sort of commodity, or forget the cryptocurrency market.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's a different animal altogether. But real
Yeah.
estate, you get the fact that at least with a single family home,
Hmm.
look, you buy a house, you rent the house out,
Yeah.
you collect them, you pay your mortgage, and hopefully you're getting some sort of return outside of all of your expenses.
Right.
But it's simple. It's
Hmm.
simple, and that's what you need. You need to have something that's simple, that makes sense, and that you understand.
Right. And I feel, I don't know if it's the same for you, but whenever I'm just around friends and in the public, people know that I'm in real estate and they
Mm.
all want to talk about it. How's
Yep.
the market? That's like the question that always comes up for me anytime I'm around friends or family or clients playing sports, just wherever I am. It's just something that everybody has an interest in, because a lot of people own a home or they want to own a home. I think it's the American dream. So
Yep.
it's just always a topic of conversation. So especially for those younger athletes, younger people, just getting that bug in their ear early so that they they understand that this is wealth building that I'm going to be able to have the rest of my life. And it's generational wealth too. You can pass that down to your children and just really start from such a young age. I bought my first house the month after I graduated from KU. So
Mm-hmm.
I fully believe that owning real estate and investing in real estate is the number one way to build wealth from an early age.
Love it. Love it. Lindsey Jacobs, this has been so much fun. So much fun. Any last remarks you would like to leave with the audience?
Thank you for having me. This has been awesome. We're going to have to get out there and golf again together with your Peter Miller gear.
With my Peter Miller gear. Hey,
Yes.
by the way, I did start to take lessons. And so
Oh,
as
nice.
soon as I got back,
That's awesome.
I hired an instructor.
I love it.
And so I've been, for the most part, on a golf course every single day.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. I
Yeah.
need to get back out there.
So-
I was supposed to golf this afternoon, but kids' schedule got in the way. So
Okay. How often are you getting out there nowadays?
well, last year I was trying to, like, in the summer months to
Yep.
play once a week, but I haven't really been able to do that so far this year. I've been too busy.
Yeah. Good problem to have.
I know it is a good problem, but I also do tennis and pickleball and sand volleyball now. So
Oh,
too many sports.
that's fun too.
It is.
Yeah.
I had volleyball games last night, so I'm feeling it this morning.
I bet. Well, look, Lindsey, thank you so much again for your time. It was such an honor. Thank you.
So fun.
And
Appreciate you.
we got to do this again sometime.
Absolutely. Thank
All
you.
right, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can't stop, we can't lose. You can't win if you snooze. So do more and say less. So get up and let's work and be the best. Yeah, you're tuned in to the Steve Gunner Podcast. Yeah, the Steve Gunner Podcast. You're tuned in to the Steve Gunner Podcast. Get up